Which welcome, everybody, and thank you so very much for joining us today for Microsoft's Inspire updates. My name is Roland Leggat, and for the next 45 minutes, I'm going to be going through what the latest trends are from Microsoft, what was announced only last week at Inspire, and it's going to be an exciting 45 minutes. Just a heads up, I've turned off the Q&A for this webinar. Don't normally do it, but there's so much for me to get through today. If you ever want a questions and answer session with us, I will drill down with you in a private update session that you can book through your Insight Account Executive. So to start off today, we are going to be doing a welcome to country. So in the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and extend their respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders peoples today. We also acknowledge and pay respect to First Nations peoples in all regions. So, as I said, my name is Roland Leggat. I'm a modern workplace specialist here at Insight, and it's my privilege to do this Inspire update for you. Now, what was Inspire about? Well, Inspire is Microsoft's annual conference, and you know, it's a very exciting time. For years now, AI has played a crucial role behind the scenes, powering everything from online searches to personalized streaming recommendations. Now we are entering a transformation phase where AI is no longer the unseen assistant, but a powerful partner in enhancing productivity, personal productivity, as well as organizational productivity. So today we're going to go through the age of AI, what we really see. I want to talk about Bing Chat for Enterprises, a fantastic tool that is going to help so many of our customers. We're going to look at Copilot for everyone in every room of the house, Copilot in the kitchen sink. We're going to talk about Power Automate process mining, which may be a mouthful, but the way this fabric orchestrates functionality and productivity across the organization is profound. And most importantly, hang around till the end, because what I'm going to show you today is how you and your organization can get ready for the AI transformation. What you can do today to get ready so that when these tools land and are GA or global availability, your organization is ready to go with them. So, I mean, we've been on a journey together. Some of you were with me when I was a Novell engineer. Some of you were with me at Microsoft when I launched Office 365. But if I look in the last, let's say 15 years, with my Microsoft hat on here, we've gone from Microsoft Cloud through a digital transformation process, and now we're in this AI transformation process. So our job at Insight is to try and empower every single one of our customers with the latest tools and technologies to help them to leapfrog ahead of their competitors. And I'm going to talk about that. Let me talk about that competitive landscape in a moment. But for me, this co-pilot, and I'm calling it co-pilot, I'm going to drum this home because it is not the pilot of the plane. You are the pilot of the plane. This is your co-pilot, your AI assistant, okay? And this co-pilot is there to help you. Don't let that co-pilot fly the plane, okay? You want to keep flying the plane, but you're going to get assisted from this. But co-pilot will allow you to build AI-powered apps. We are already doing this for several customers. The appetite is like nothing I've ever seen before. The appetite for this technology. I sat down for lunch with some of our team from Microsoft last week, and even they are astounded at how quickly people are engaging, paying for, and you know, they've got a pilot at the moment, and there's a fairly chunky piece of money to pay to get on this pilot in Australia. They are oversubscribed. They thought we'd put, let's do the pilot. We'll charge people $100,000 to get on the pilot, okay? There's lots of GPU and but GPU processing power, this is an expensive component on the back end. They're oversubscribed. They're oversubscribed already, okay? So, I mean, what we've seen with AI, this is a combination of 70 years worth of work from geeks like me, but people way smarter than me. But it really marks an evolutionary step in technology. You know, when I think about it, I think about and I'm gonna jump across to a whiteboard here for this, because I just want to draw this up for you. So when we look at where we've been going, okay, if I go back to like when I really got into networking and that, I mean, this was really the client server relationship, okay? So I had a Windows 95 machine, and I might have had a Novell server, and I had a mouse, but this was really a client server relationship. And then, you know, about 10 years ago, we moved into what I launched at Microsoft as 3 screens and a cloud, you know, where I was saying, okay, you've got your device, you could be an iPad, it could be a phone, and those 3 were all connecting up to Office 365. Okay, so that was your 3 screens and a cloud story. And now what we're looking at is we're looking at moving to this AI evolution. Okay, so now we're going into an AI environment where we've got large language models. So I've got large language models, I've got AI in the cloud. And this is the next transformation in our evolution. Okay, so I'm just going to stop sharing that and go back to sharing my other screen quickly. And I want you to think, like, when I drew that screen, you know, when I was working with Windows 95 and like the NW client components, okay, the mouse was critical. And what we're seeing now is we're seeing natural language processing, or NLP, okay, as to me, it's NLP is the mouse of 2023, okay, insofar as when it comes to inputting and prompting information into an AI entity, and then there's AI right across the board here in all different places, and the prompt logic is really quite important. But NLP is the mouse of 2023 for me. So when I look at using Copilot or artificial intelligence in the raft of technologies that Microsoft has introduced to us, okay, whether it's Bing, Edge, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, you know, we've also got Windows Copilot in Windows 11. This Sales Copilot or Dynamics Copilot. The Fabric Copilot is the one that I think is going to have a profound effect. Security, GitHub, the Power Platform. Microsoft have made a massive investment in OpenAI. They've got a really close partnership, and to that end, we've seen this incredible technology from OpenAI being embedded in every aspect of the Microsoft data suite. So there's a couple of things I really want us to talk about today, okay? So your data is protected, all right? When we look at using something like ChatGPT, and the numbers around ChatGPT are phenomenal. I mean, you know, when we think about ChatGPT, they took 5 days to get 1 million users when GPT 3.5 was released, okay? Netflix, you know Netflix, you love Netflix. Every one of you uses it. Took Netflix 3.5 years to get 1 million users. So what ChatGPT did in 5 days. Now here's the problem. Here's the problem with ChatGPT, and why I'm so excited about Bing Enterprise Chat. We said that I've been saying for 6 months, Microsoft will include some component of AI or OpenAI in the E3, the Microsoft E3 and the Microsoft E5 SKU. We said that we're going to do it, okay? And this is what we see now with this enterprise version of ChatGPT. So using your Microsoft E3 or E5 credentials to authenticate against ChatGPT, against Bing Chat Enterprise, which is like a secure version of ChatGPT. Here's the thing, you know, if you're not paying for the product, okay? If you're not paying for it, you're not the customer, you're the product being sold. If you follow me on Instagram, I post loads of stuff about yoga and all type of stuff on Instagram, okay? That's what I do. But I realize I am the product being sold at that point in time. When you're using ChatGPT, you are using ChatGPT and you are training the large language model. You're making ChatGPT better. So at that point in time, you are not the customer. Essentially, you're the product being sold. Okay. Now, here's the shift. And this is an important shift because some of our customers, quite a few of them, banned the use of ChatGPT in their organization. And there was a bit of a backlash, but there's reasons to do this. A lot of what I want to tell you about AI is around governance and the ethics of AI. Okay, so what they didn't want to do, I've had this with customers already, is sharing their intellectual property externally, using like something like the GPT service. Okay, so when I'm using Bing Chat for Enterprise, all of my data is protected. It stays within my Office 365 tenant, okay? There's a security boundary. Your chat data is not saved. Your chat data is not used to train new models or train models externally. Now, as long as you are Microsoft E3 or E5, again, I've been telling you for 6 months, you need to get on E3 or E5 to get this stuff, okay? You can add it on to something like Business Premium or Business Standard, but I believe that a lot of the functionality we want from Copilot and from AI is going to be delivered for us, okay, through the Microsoft E3 and E5 platform, Okay, so when we look at Bing Chat for Enterprise, if you've got an M SKU, M3 or M5, it is free. You essentially have your own version of ChatGPT, but it's better than ChatGPT because it's also integrating the Bing indexing engine. So I want you to think about, I've got my Bing indexing engine as a database, I've got my large language model 4.0, I've got a security boundary, and I've got my Office 365 tenant. Okay, and the information stays within my Office 365 tenant, which is critical. If you the RRP on that last slide, the RRP for Copilot for Windows 365 was also announced, and it's saying $30 US. Now, talk to us about that, because that's the RRP, but when we look at a CSP or enterprise agreements, that price is going to change. All right. And I understand some of you are sitting there thinking Microsoft's charging like a wounded bull for this stuff. Yes, it's incredible technology. Yes, it's costing them a lot of money to run this type of technology. But it's a serious differentiator. If you look at your competition and you think, should we do it, shouldn't we do it? Well, I'll tell you something for nothing. If you don't do it and your competition does do it, it's going to be a big differentiator in how you service your customers, how efficient, how happy, how productive your people are. And if you want to recruit and retain staff moving forward, I would have an AI strategy in place. I'd start doing one today. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about Copilot, Microsoft 365 Copilot. This is really going to unleash your creativity and enhance your productivity. Okay, we're also going to up-level skills. I've been saying this, you know, we did a whole series of webinars on this, and one of the points I was driving home was, at any point in time, when you're using an application, you only know statistically 10% of that application. Kira might know a particular 10% in Excel. I may know another 10% in Excel, but we only know 10% in Excel. Copilot knows the other 90%. Copilot knows how to do everything. So if you say, I want to do, I've heard of VLOOKUP, I've heard of HLOOKUP, I want to do an XLOOKUP, but I don't know how to do it in Excel. Copilot knows. Copilot knows. You can just use natural language processing, NLP, the mouse of 2023. You can use natural language processing to ask Copilot to do a VLOOKUP for you. Okay, so this works across all of your apps and mines data and surfaces data to you in real time from your calendar, from your chats, from your documents, from your meeting. Okay. Using just your words, you can ask Copilot questions. And this is a whole new thing here, which is around the prompts. You're prompting the AI engine to come back with answers. We need to do a little bit of training here on exactly what questions to ask AI. Your data has secrets. Your data has information you don't know about. Being able to ask the prompts. For those of you who haven't seen, there's a whole new marketplace, like a prompt marketplace, but being able to ask the correct prompts will allow you to get the maximum benefits out of AI. So what did I say? 1 million users in 5 days, 3 months, 3 months to 100 million users. The appetite for this, if you're a CTO, a CIO, I know we've got a lot of them on the call. Your people will be banging down the doors. Last week I did this webinar for Singapore, and literally, you know, the comments we got back were, when can I get it? When does it arrive? And that's a good question. So I asked Microsoft last week, Friday, you know, when's GA? When is it coming? They were so tight-lipped. They obviously know, but they're under NDAs, okay? They were not giving away anything. Best bet, it's going to land early Q2. So Microsoft's Q2, they start in July, August, September, so October. You know, we're expecting, the preview's out already. Like I said, the preview's oversubscribed already for Australia, but I'm expecting it. Don't quote me on this, but I'm expecting it to land in October. So there's some things you've got to get ready to transform the way you work. And remember, this is not an autopilot. Like I've been using just the Bing chat instead of ChatGPT since March. When was it launched? March. Okay, I don't use ChatGPT. I haven't used it, for almost the last 6 months. But I do not take what Bing Chat says and cut and put it straight into an email. No, don't do that. This is your co-pilot. It's not autopilot. Okay, when we look at how the natural language processing works, when I give a prompt or I respond with a filter saying, make that longer, make it sound more friendly, make it sound like a consultant, okay? There's this hosted foundation model, which is isolated for each tenant, okay? Which almost creates like a feedback loop and grounding in the semantic index. So the semantic index, and this is, I'm not going to get into too much technical stuff here, but talk to your inside AE because we've got a bunch of workshops around this. We've got strategy things. Insight's ready to go on this like no one else is, okay? We've got a whole bunch of stuff here, but it'll go through this looping process. And this stuff that's happening within our 365 tenant, much like SharePoint or Exchange runs in a multi-tenanted server. It's a special version of SharePoint and Exchange within Office 365 Cloud. Your information store or your content DB within SQL can't be accessed by anybody else. Copilot uses the same laws. I mean, these are the fundamental principles of Microsoft's Copilot: security, compliance, privacy, and then they've got 6 responsible AI principles, okay, around fairness, reliability, privacy and security, inclusiveness, transparency, and accountability. Now, if you're a CTO, if you're an IT manager on this call, if your access controllers, if your data governance isn't right, AI can't differentiate that. So sometimes we get permission sprawl, where over the years somebody's been given more permissions than they should have. We want to use the principle of least permissions required to do a job. The permissions model needs to be set up and protected properly, because I'm going to go into a couple of examples now. But when Copilots, like even in Word, it wants to create content for you. If you've got permissions to that file, even if you shouldn't have, it'll use that file. It doesn't know. So we need to work around our data governance in this space, okay? So let's just see what Copilot's going to look like. I mean, if we look at Copilot in something like Word, okay? And we say, right, draft a proposal. So it's a game changer. Draft a proposal. It'll prompt you based on the semantic index. In other words, based on your Office Graph prompt for documents that you may have used in a previous chat, conversations in Teams, similar documents that you've used for even another customer, okay? And it writes, edits, summarizes, and creates right alongside you. Now, in most cases, it's going to be the first draft, okay? It's not going to be perfect. But when you click on the Copilot tab in things like Excel, you could say, right, I want to analyze, the last quarter's sales and service descriptions to customers. It offers really insightful recommendations to you. For someone who may not use Excel every day, it can analyze the data and give you key trends across the data. It can go through and create tables for you, create graphs. It can extract the content and start to push it into Power BI. And this is really where the Fabric side of things comes into play. Now, let's say we've created this Word document. I've created a proposal for a customer, and there was a proposal we created in our other demo. Now what I want to do is I need to present the proposal to the customer. So now I can say to Copilot, create me a 7-slide deck create a presentation for me based on the Word document and the Excel spreadsheet that you helped me to create. Insert graphics, insert animations, things that you may have trouble with yourselves. Okay, so I mean, we can also start a new presentation from a single prompt or outline. We can condense lengthy presentations at the click of the button. We can use NLP to commands to adjust layouts, reformat, or timings. You know what I love? Speaker notes. I love the way Copilot creates speaker notes for you, because what it can do is it can use the content that's in the presentation it created, reach out to the web and get competitive information, allowing you to create speaker notes that are insightful. I spend a lot of time creating speaker notes. And the thing about Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, nearly every single one of us out there on the call does not start a presentation from scratch. When I was doing this presentation, I had Paul Cena and Kira Hajakanitas helping me with this. We didn't start it from scratch. We used a template or a previous presentation that we've done, and we worked with that. Imagine if Copilot can do all of that searching and finding for you. That's what it's going to do. Okay, now, inbox, email, you know it, you love it, you can't get enough of it, okay? So Copilot works with your inbox and messages so that you can spend less time on triaging emails and more time on actually communicating better, faster, easily, and effortlessly. Copilot can even summarize really convoluted email threads from multiple people so that you only really get the salient points, okay? It can give you different viewpoints from people. It can help you respond to those emails and automatically generate emails for you. All right, so you can say to it, the example there, I love lunch and learns, give people food and knowledge, they're bound to come along to the session, almost guaranteed. I love the lunch and learn concept, but you could say, I want to create an invite for a lunch and learn. We could have created all of the invitations for this session using Copilot. And it may not have done it better than someone like Kira would have done it, but it would have done it better than me. Okay, she's got some skills. All right, then we look at Teams. So within Teams, statistically, we spend 23%. This is the Microsoft Work Trends Index. We spend 23% of our day in Microsoft Teams. And there's always meetings that you miss. And you think, well, I'll go back. I'll go back. Record the meeting. I'll go back and I'll watch that meeting. You do not do that. That 47-minute meeting, you don't go back and watch that entire 47-minute meeting later, do you? No, you don't, okay? So what Copilot's going to allow you to do is, instead of attending the meeting, there's a tab where you can follow the meeting, and this will summarize the discussion points. It will use the hierarchy of the Active Directory, if it's a large meeting, to know the people that you work with regularly, and it will say, all right, Paul Cena said this at this point in time. Here's your action items, Roland. So even if you join a meeting late, it will help you get up to speed with the conversation, organize the key discussion points, summarize key actions of the entire group knows what to do next. Some of you would have seen this if you've been using the Teams Premium product since the beginning of the year. That was using some AI and some machine learning to do this type of stuff for you, okay? So like we said in the beginning, AI, machine learning has been in the background. Now what we're seeing is it coming right to the foreground and helping you fly that plane that is your business. Okay, so when we look at something like business chat, okay, it brings together data from documents, presentations, emails, notes, contacts. It brings all of this information together and summarizes it for you. So this is a new app, and where I think we're going to see this really coming to its fore is things like your CRM applications. Okay, so here we can see the business chat that's going through Dynamics 365 in this demo here, and all the conversations that were had related to a particular customer in my CRM system are being aggregated together, and we can automatically update the CRM system. Now, okay, this is one that I think is so important. And I think it's so important because we already know that bad actors are using AI to try and breach our networks. I think if you're not using AI to try and protect yourself, you're going to get caught out. To me, this is Security Copilot. Okay, so Security Copilot is a force multiplier for other security products. All right, we can see, using Defender, Sentinel, Intune, along with Microsoft Security Graph, the large language model. It can summarize incidents in seconds, assess their real-time impact, guide you through response, do reporting and visualization of these, making it a breeze. Okay, even the most advanced tasks like reverse engineering malware. Okay, days to do this kind of stuff, and way out of my skill set. Okay, Copilot makes it accessible for everyone. 3.5 million cybersecurity roles in the world currently unfulfilled. If this is going to be your cybersecurity personal assistant, do it today. Okay, they are using AI to breach your network. Please use AI to protect yourself. I said AI in everything. Look at this, look at this. So now we've got AI in sales. Our salespeople, well, globally, salespeople spend approximately 40% of their time updating their CRM system. Okay, so Sales Copilot is generally available now as a standalone subscription and included as part of customers' existing Dynamics 365 Sales Enterprise and Premium licenses with no extra cost. So we said Microsoft will build some things in here, okay? So there's the incredible Dynamics 365 customer insight tools. They're going to be available for preview in next month, really. And we're going to look at general availability on the 1st of September. But this, the Sales Copilot, I think is going to give your salespeople time back to do what they're really supposed to do, which is spending time listening to customers, not talking to customers, listening to customers. Okay, that's what salespeople need to do. Listen more, to talk less. Okay, but it also allows them to do things like personalize every interaction, update stuff that is in Outlook. And you send out an RFP. This is in our world. We send out an RFP. Customer emails back saying yes. They've signed the deal. There's a little Copilot button that comes into Outlook that says, would you like me to update Dynamics? Would you like me to update Salesforce? And close that deal and mark that deal as won. All right. Yeah, the other thing they announced that Inspire, okay? So these are all Inspire updates. Copilot in GitHub. Okay, so here's the thing. I cannot code my way out of a paper bag. I'm not a developer. I can't do that. But if you want to see where AI and Copilot are going, what I think you should do is look at where this has been available the longest. For over a year now, over a year, Copilot has been part of GitHub. And it's an AI-powered pair programmer that enables assistance to developers to help them code stuff faster, more efficiently. It suggests code snippets to developers. Okay, there's a whole bunch of open AI codecs that it uses, and the numbers are incredible when it comes to the type of consumption of GitHub Copilot that we've seen. Okay, 88% more productive, 74% can focus on more satisfying work, 77% spend less time searching for information or examples. All developers have additional programs that they need to write, but don't have the time, don't have the resources. It's not that this is going to take developers' jobs. What it's going to do is enable them to get rid of that project backlog. All of us, every person on this call, has projects that they want to do, okay? And they don't have resources, they don't have capability, they don't have capacity to get those projects done. So if we think of what it's going to look like for us, we talk again, I'll talk to you again in a year. When we talk again in a year, let's have a look at how much of the project backlog you've managed to triage, to use Copilot to do 80% of the heavy lifting. So if you want a leading indicator of what AI is going to do for your business, look at what Copilot has done in GitHub over the last 12 months. There, right there. Those are the numbers that you can take to the bank. If you think it's expensive, if you think this is a big ask, if you think this is a massive inflection point in technology, you're right. You're right. It's expensive. It's a big ask. It's a big change. But the rewards will be great. So now this is one of the things that I think is going to be most powerful in Copilot. A lot of the AI stuff they spoke about at Inspire was personal, individual productivity, individual automation and functionality. Now, when I look at integrating multiple data silos across my organization, this Power Automate process mining fabric, let's call it a fabric, okay? This orchestrates and automates right across multiple data silos, anywhere in the organization. And this to me is organizational productivity, organizational optimization, organizational orchestration of complex tasks, okay? So it's research, there's so much research being done in here, and this Copilot component will really look at the different parts of a particular complex process here and allow you to record it, visualize it. You can see on the screen there with my little screenshot, we visualize it happening, and then it's going to use Power Automate, Power Apps, Power BI to automate an otherwise complicated, time-consuming, mundane, boring, horrible task that you don't want to do anyway. It's going to watch you, it's going to learn, and we've got a desktop experience for data ingestion, predefined reports, and so much more. I think this is going to, the other ones are nice and cool and exciting, but this fabric, I believe that's going to have the largest impact. So we're nearly out of time. I told you I had a lot to go through, okay? Couple of things. Your data is your data, okay? AI-powered large language models, okay, are not trained using your data. If you're using ChatGPT and you're using the app, yes, you're training the large language model, okay? But when we are using it internally, what happens is we fine-tune that large language model, and it starts out pretty good because it's going to be using what surfaced as Delve. It's essentially the Office graph technology on the back end, which is that social media mesh of linking together all different nodes. So for those of you who've been using Office graphs for the last 10 years, you'll understand the concept of nodes and signals, okay? But for those of you who haven't, it's like social media networks. And follow Roland on LinkedIn. If I do a LinkedIn post and I get like, that moves up the algorithm, okay? So that's what Delve does. I mean, how does this surface? Viva Insights, when you open up an Edge browser or something and you see, you know, Tim Moody was working on this document. That is like, you know, I've got access to that document and it's surfacing that information to me, okay? So it gives me real-time access to content and context out of Office graph for me, okay? And it anchors the answers that it gives me in documents, in calendars, in emails, in chats, in business context, and combines them all together. All right. So I've had conversations about this topic in the last week. Can I bring that all together? Can I protect that and make sure that no one else has access to it unless they've explicitly been given permission? So I said to you, what can we do today? What can we do today to get ready for Copilot? Okay. So Insight was into this early on in the piece. Internally, we long time ago, before the big stuff, we actually had an Insight GPT, our own internal version of ChatGPT, running as an app inside our Teams environment. I seen presentations for people, and they were like, "How did you get ChatGPT into Teams?" I'm like, "It's not ChatGPT. Insight built it. We've got some incredibly smart people here. These smart people will run AI workshops for you to help you with getting ready for your AI transformation." So get AI ready today, AI and Copilot ready today with Insight. Security readiness, using Entra, Azure AD. Think of a new version of Azure AD, Entra, but security, governance, and compliance. I remember what I said. If your data is not secured and locked down, and we use the principle of least permissions required, sometimes people over the years, they get more and more and more permission. One of the things I love about Entra is the permissions audit thing that you can do. So I can just take a user account and I can say, what files do they have access to in my cloud? And they'll come back with a summary of everything they've got access to. This is important. AI isn't discerning about this. You may have access to a file that you don't even know. I will find that. Copilot will find that, and then it'll use that file, which could be secure or confidential data, to create content for you. That's not what we want. DLP, rights management services, access controllers, all of these things are very important. The other thing is, your data needs to be in the cloud. So if you've got stuff in your M drive, your Z drive, your H drive, your P drive, your Q drive, that is not in SharePoint, in Teams, in OneDrive, Copilot and AI cannot access that. So if you want Copilot to use that intellectual property that's currently sitting on your M drive, migrate it to SharePoint today. Call Insight today, migrate it to SharePoint today. Get on the phone. We're ready. We want to do this. People have been a bit slow to migrate some of this stuff. Okay, when it looks at training and enablement, one of Insight's UVPs is we've got this thing called the customer success team, or the Microsoft success team. That's what I'm a part of. Our job is to help you get up to speed and yield a return on investment on your Microsoft cloud. Get hold of your AE, get us in there to help you get ready for Copilot and AI. We're your partners in this. This is a big change. We need to work together to make this successful and to do it right. The benefits are overwhelming, but only if we practice due diligence. Okay, so what's the innovations that we saw at Inspire? Are we going to see Copilot impacting devices? There's a whole bunch of stuff around what's happening in the surface and the GPU stuff to do local processing for artificial intelligence on your operating systems with Windows 11, security Copilot, management of devices, collaboration between people within your organization. The innovations are profound. And if you're not sure if this is going to take off, I'm just going to draw your attention to this next slide here. So when we look at Microsoft partners, Microsoft customers that have already developed plugins, APIs. I mean, when I'm talking about Copilot, I'm not just talking about AI, I'm not just talking about Copilot, okay? There are so many other experiences. I saw some KPMG plugins demo, incredible stuff, okay? NBA, Fujifilm, Uber, all of these organizations have been using Microsoft Azure Cognitive Services or Microsoft Azure Applied AI Services to build these amazing solutions right across the board. Every industry, every person will be impacted by this. You know, the diffusion of innovation curve, where we've got innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and the laggards. This is the first technology, and I've been doing this a while, you know. It's the first technology where I've seen the diffusion of innovation curve skew, and the innovators come right across, almost to the early majority. Okay, so I'm going to reiterate and I'm going to leave you on this. Do the AI workshops with insight. Make sure your security, governance, and compliance is as it should be. Do the best practices, prescriptive guidelines to make sure this is all working. Migrate your data to the cloud. If you haven't got a plan to do it, get a plan today. Talk to your inside account executives. If you need help getting that data into the cloud, and do it properly. It's not just a lift and shift. Do it properly, okay? Make sure you maintain things, you retain things like metadata, permissions, blah, 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 all of that stuff, okay? And talk to your AEs about maybe running a customer immersion experience, a workshop, a proof of concept with Insight. Talk to your Insight reps, okay? And we will come in and we'll run a session for you where we can drill down on some of these other updates from Inspire, some of these other updates around AI, but we're in for an exciting time. Engage with us. Use the Bing chat for enterprises today. If you're on an MSQ, ME3, ME5, let's get that going today. Stop your people using ChatGPT. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much. It's been an honor talking to you today. Really, this is an incredible time. We've waited 70 years for this inflection point. Thank you so much. It's been an honor. Have a wonderful day.